You know, I sit at tables, right, where culture is catered but never catered to. There are 12 chairs, 10 echoes, two of us carrying the bass line of Me Too. I watch budgets bloom like spring when the artist is pale enough to be called promising, and shrink like winter lips when the genius comes seasoned in melanin. Same crowd size, same ticket price, different respect. They say, oh, we love black artists. But love in their mouth doesn't sound like money. Love in their mouth doesn't look like ownership. Love in their mouth doesn't stop the offer from being half history, half insult. Because I'm in the emails, I'm in the meetings, I'm in the numbers. I see how whiteness gets labeled investment and blackness gets labeled risk. How a white artist can miss the mark and still get the margin. But a black artist got to sell out the target, the walls, the block, and the parking lot just to be considered even. They want us to pack the room, but not own the building. They want us to move the crowd, but not move the scale. They want black artists to resurrect dead venues with living lungs, then pay them like background music. We book the brilliance, they build the building. We source the soul, they set the ceiling. We bring the bodies, they keep the balance. We inherit the burden, they inherit the mansion. And every time I watch a black artist walk through a stage door smiling with a contract in their back pocket that doesn't match the line outside, I see a back door open in my mind. I see Duke Ellington entering through alleys, Billie Holiday fed through freight elevators, James Brown cooking crowds he couldn't sit with, Aretha in dressing rooms where dignity was never on the rider. Segregated venues, integrated profits, black bodies on stage, white hands in the box office. They had to come in through the back and leave through the back, but fill the front with magic. Expected to entertain a house that wouldn't house them, expected to save a night that wouldn't save them, paid in crumbs, tipped in claps, robbed in contracts, and tell me why that doesn't rhyme with now. Because today, the back door always just digital. It's called exposure. It's called budget constraints. It's called this will be good for your brand. Same hallway, new paint, same plantation, different playlist. Because what do you call it when black labor grows the crop but white management owns the field? What do you call it when the cotton is content, when the whip is the algorithm and the auction block is the calendar grid? What do you call it when the artist is the engine but never the driver? When blackness is the product but not the partner? I watch white talent buyers negotiate comfort and call it curation. Negotiate down black worth and call it the market. They sit in air conditioned rooms, setting the temperature of people's dreams. And me, I'm in the room feeling like an interpreter between history and invoices. One of two black faces translating brilliance into a language that keeps trying to shortchange the dictionary. So when I advocate, I'm not just asking for a higher fee. I'm interrupting a bloodline of theft. I'm arguing with ghosts of overseers who learn how to smile because the plantation never ended. It franchised. It added ticketing software. It learned DEI vocabulary. It put the whip into spreadsheets and the chains into percentages. Still extracting, still expecting, still underpaying the hens that make the harvest legendary. And the wildest part, they will call it opportunity and expect gratitude. But I know history. I know what happens when the laborer is always thankful and never paid. So this piece is for every black artist told they're lucky to be booked while being robbed to be brilliant. This is for every sold out show that couldn't sell fairness. This is for every backdoor disguised as a side entrance. This is for every contract that feels like a receipt from a store that stole from you first. And to the crowd, let me ask you, if the room is full, why isn't the pay? If the culture is priceless, why is the artist always discounted? If black art keeps saving these stages, why black people still getting treated like stagehands in our own sound? Because until black creators are paid like owners, every venue is just a newer field, every buyer is just a newer master, and every underpaid performance is history repeating itself with better lighting. Listen, the plantation didn't disappear, it put on a blazer. It swapped the cotton for contracts, the overseer for operations, the whip for a Wi-Fi password, the auction block for a booking calendar, but the math is still the same. Black hands make the harvest, white hands hold the deed. Black throats bring the thunder, white offices own the rain. We still picking packed houses, they still picking percentages, still tallying our sweat and spreadsheets, still selling our sound and segments, still breaking our brilliance into budgets and calling the bruises business. Tell me this ain't familiar. When black labor is expected, but black ownership is experimental. When black pain is marketable, but black power is too political. When the field got floodlights and the chains got acronyms, and the overseer learned how to say, we're like a family, while feeding off the ancestors. We're in the field with microphones, still told to be grateful for the ground, still told this is a look, still told this is a chance, still told y'all lucky to be here, while they still are counting the crop in advance. And I'm watching modern masters set rates like rations, watching them portion our portion and call it negotiation, watching them harvest our history, package our pain, sell our survival as Saturday night entertainment, then drive home in generational gain. So when I say plantation, don't flinch. I mean any system where the labor don't own the land, the sound don't own the stage, and the genius don't own the game. I mean, any room where black people build the value and whiteness signs the name. This ain't a metaphor. This is math. This is blood turned into box office. This is backs turned into branding. This is chains turned into closets and overseers turned into buyers. Same hunger, same hierarchy, same harvest, different playlist.